We're
Thanks.
having a little technical difficulty. I see Maurice is working on it.
And actually, we've solved it. So
Oh, good, good.
you are good to go.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we're and Vicky, we're at quorum.
Oh, good. Okay, then we can start the evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm Vicky Barbero, the chair of Manhattan Community Board 5. As usual, we're going to start with our public hearing chaired by our first vice chair, Nick Athenow. We always start this prior to our CB5 regular monthly full board meetings. So please, Nick, take it away and open the public hearing.
Thank you, Vicky. Good evening, everyone. This is the public hearing of Manhattan Community Board 5. I'm Nick Athenow. I'll be your chair for the public hearing. During this public hearing, members of the public are invited to speak for 2 minutes per person on the subject set forth in the agenda for this public hearing or on any topic that relates to the affairs of the community district. If you would like to address the board before it votes on any matters tonight, now is your opportunity to do so. Although there will be a public session during the full board meeting later, that public session will be at the end of the meeting after all of the votes have taken place. So if you want to address the board on any matters before it votes tonight, now is your time to do so. If you would like to speak during this public hearing, please use the raise hand button now. When you're recognized, we will allow you to speak, but you must unmute yourself. In order for you to be heard, you will have to unmute yourself. I'm looking for raised hands. At the moment, I only see Lori. Lori, did you want to speak during the public hearing, or did you want to wait for your opportunity as a member? I think she put her head down. Okay. If you would like to speak during the public hearing, please press the raise hand button now. Okay, seeing none, I think we can close the public hearing, Vicky.
Oh, okay. That's kind of the shortest one we've ever had. Okay, thank you, Nick.
Sure.
All right, that brings us around to our full board meeting for September. So I will now call that meeting to order. As I said earlier, I'm Vicky Barbero, the chair. I hope you all had an enjoyable summer hiatus since our July full board meeting. It's really great to be back, even though it's virtual once again. And at the same time, it may be our last full virtual meeting. No doubt we'll soon find out what the governor will ultimately decide. So as usual, I'll now go over the procedure for tonight's meeting of the full board. We'll start our full board meeting by hearing from any elected officials that are in attendance and wish to address the board. The elected officials will be followed by any representatives of other electeds who may report to the board for 2 minutes each. The board then enters into its business session, which consists of the adoption of the minutes, the chair's report, committee reports, resolutions, a question and comment period, and voting. Comments and questions from either applicants or the public, or if additional information, or I skipped it. We do enter then into our business session. I already did that. Sorry about that. Give me 1 month off, and I'm 1 month off. Comments and questions from either applicants or the public, or additional information is needed, are allowed only with the chair's approval. And we then conduct a public session for those who would like to address the board on any item. That's at the end of all of the work that's been done during the business session. The public session is followed by old and new business and adjournment. And I'll start this evening's meeting calling on elected officials. So please use the raise hand feature. And let's see who would like to speak. I think I saw Lori's hand go up, and I believe that actually Lori is not here this evening and Sean is here in place. So let's see. Is that correct? Sean?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I stole Lori's link.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. It's good to see you twice in almost a week.
I know. I was really confused. I was like, why is Lori here? She's supposed to be at the 13th precinct. I was like, oh no, I'm Lori.
Right.
You got 2 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to kick things off?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Sean Coughlin, I'm Chief of Staff to Eric Botcher. As Vicky said, I had the pleasure of joining the Budget, Education, and City Services Committee last week, I want to say, to discuss the city's redistricting efforts for the City Council. As you may know, the state, Senate and Assembly and congressional lines were redrawn last year for this year's election, and everything is shifted forward 1 year for the city council districts where they're being redrawn this year for the election next year with the new lines. So if you weren't able to join us for that committee hearing, I'll just summarize it best that I can. The perspective map was put out by the Districting Commission. There was feedback given through public hearings and testimony on that perspective map. They then went back and are currently in the process of drawing round 2 of the maps. Those are due to be delivered to the City Council for approval by September 22nd. So we're coming up to that deadline. I've heard that we're closer to not than actually receiving those second rounds of maps. I don't think there will be too much changing in regards to Community Board 5. I'll have to double check on that, but I think likely most of the east-west boundaries between ourselves, Eric's district, Councilmember Powers' district, and Councilmember Rivera's district, I think all that will remain largely the same. So I think things will remain largely the same for CB5, but we'll get those new drafts of the maps, as I said, sometime in the next couple weeks. The council can either then approve or disapprove those maps. If they approve it, bing bang, we're done. Then starting in 2023, we have an election based on those new lines, and they go into effect on 2024. So that's it for redistricting. I would encourage everyone who can to be here.
Anything further? Sean, I just want to be sure because that's important, the whole thing with redistricting.
Yeah, I would just recommend, I'm sure the video is available on the website of Manhattan Community Board 5. I would recommend everyone to watch that that committee meeting. I think it was really informative. It was really well managed by the board, and it's got some really great information. So I'd encourage folks to check that out if they're interested in learning more about the redistricting process.
Great. Thank you so much. Next up will be Kate Scherer.
Hi, thank you. My name is Kate Scherer. I'm from Councilwoman Rivera's office. Just want to share a quick legislative update. This summer, Councilwoman Rivera was proud to support the NYC Abortion Rights Act, which is a legislative package that solidifies and expands abortion access in New York City. She co-sponsored Intro 507A, which requires the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene to supply FDA-approved abortion medication at Department of Health clinics throughout the city. And I also, in addition to that legislative update, I want to share some community events and resources, and I'll also drop those links, relevant links in the chat. So we're partnering with Assemblymember Harvey Epstein and community organizations to collect supplies for asylum seekers in New York City and District 2. People can drop off lightly used clothing, shoes, hygiene products to Assemblymember Epstein's office, and I'll include that address and phone number in the chat. Some other events on September 13th, the Sanitation Foundation is hosting a virtual webinar on how to host your own community. Additionally, the National Arts Club is hosting a free community day on September 20th. And also just an update on monkeypox. Vaccine second doses are now available through the Department of Health website. You can make that appointment if you had your dose 10 weeks after you've had your first dose. Additionally, the Office of Cannabis Management is currently accepting applications for the conditional adult use retail dispensary license. Those are for folks who are justice involved or have relatives who are justice involved. So with that, I don't have any other updates, but I will include those links in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kate. Next, Justin Flagg.
Hello, Vicky. Hello, everyone. I'm Justin Flagg from Senator Kruger's office. A lot has happened since the last meeting, so I'll try to move quickly and I'll put some links in the chat. You can find more information if you're interested. The MTA released their environmental assessment for congestion pricing and held a series of virtual hearings to take public comment. If you haven't submitted comments, the deadline to do so is tomorrow. I'll put a link in the chat to Senator Kruger's comments, as well as details of how you can comment if you're interested. As Sean mentioned, the City Districting Commission came out with their first round of proposed maps. Senator Kruger also submitted comments on those. Her concerns mostly have to do with the loss of portions of the east side to a primarily Queens Center district, so that's not within CB5, but I'll post a link to her testimony on that in the chat. As most of you probably know, at the end of July, the State Public Authorities Control Board took a vote on the Penn Station project pilot agreement. The vote was limited in scope and served only to confirm the financial agreement between the city and the state regarding any potential future pilot funds. However, any specific future development deals as part of the project would have to return to the board, and Senator Kruger is committed to using those opportunities to fight for the best possible deals for the community when those come up. I'll put a link in the chat to her statement with Senators Hoylman and Jackson on the vote, as well as their comments on the general project plan. And finally, in July, Senator Kruger sent a letter to the mayor and the council speaker expressing her concerns about this year's significant school budget cuts and urging them to rethink those cuts at a time when the city has received a record amount of state education funding in this year's budget and has billions of dollars in unspent federal stimulus funds. So I'll post a link to her letter in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Next up will be Franklin Richards.
Hi, good evening, everyone. On Monday, September 12th, this upcoming Monday, the council member and other members of the public will join for the street co-naming of West 56th and 7th Avenue in honor of Wayne Hanman, a veteran, business owner, and leader in our community, and most importantly, a teacher. All are welcome to attend the ceremony, which begins at 11 a.m. In terms of legislation, this year, our city and nation have confronted devastating acts of gun violence. In response to the tragedies, Councilmember Powers introduced legislation with the speaker that established Times Square as a sensitive area for carrying guns, which means no person can carry a firearm in the congested heart of New York City. Governor Hochul expanded on this by taking action on the state level, prohibiting guns in schools, public transit, entertainment venues, playgrounds, parks, medical facilities, house of worship, courthouses, rallies, and also Times Square. On a city level, Councilmember Power co-sponsored legislation with Councilmember Abreu that requires the mayor's office to prevent gun violence to report and identify where firearms have been seized and surrendered across the city, as well as where weapons are originating from. This legislation will help us better track guns in our city. Finally, today, I attended a walkthrough on behalf of our office to discuss the implementation of city bikes on West 54th between 5th and 6th Ave. Concerns have been coming to our office, and I'm sure Community Board 5's office. And we met with DOT representatives to find the solutions to the concerns raised by our stakeholders and constituents, and we'll keep you posted. So thank you and welcome back from your well-deserved summer break.
Thanks, Franklin. Next up will be Carolyn Wexelbaum. Sorry.
Hi, that's okay. It's Caroline Wexelbaum. Hi, I'm Caroline. I'm from State Senator Brad Hoylman's office. Welcome back, everyone. I am going to drop our board report in the chat, but I just wanted to highlight a few things. First, Senator Hoylman held a supply drive for asylum seekers. We partnered with the New York Immigration Coalition and we collected toiletries and clothing and necessities, which we've donated, and these are ongoing efforts. So if you want to know how to donate, just reach out to me. There's also a paper shredding event this Monday from 2 to 6 p.m. It's not in CB5, but it's close to CB5. It's between 13th and 14th Streets. So if anyone wants to shred and walk a little, you can go to that. And today, Senator Hoylman introduced legislation with Senator Gianaris and Thomas to exempt President Biden's student loan forgiveness from state taxation. And you can read more about the details in our board report. And finally, I'm sure a lot of people have heard that new vaccine boosters started this week. And these better target the Omicron variants that are most prevalent right now. And actually, Senator Hoylman participated in the trial for these vaccines. And I actually got mine yesterday. So I encourage everyone to get vaccinated, boosted, or double boosted wherever you are in the process. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Caroline. Is there anyone else? I don't see any other hands raised. I just want to make sure no other elected representatives or any of the electeds. Marisa, you don't see anyone else, right?
No, not at the moment.
Okay,
I do
All
believe
right.
we're expecting the borough president, but not yet.
okay. Well, that means that we now enter our business session of the board, where, as I mentioned, only board officers, board members are allowed to speak. Please remember to have your videos on during the meeting. So now we're entering the business session, starting with the acceptance of the July minutes. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And a second, good, thank you. Roll call vote, Craig.
Michaelis. Yes. Athenell.
Yes.
Eichmann.
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
Borden.
Yes.
Rosnahan.
Yes.
Cedillo.
Yes.
Dosen.
Yes.
Ellington.
Yes.
Brewer.
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Hirschberg.
Yes.
Higher. Higher. I saw him come on. Okay. Let's see. Isaacs.
Yep.
Hayback.
Yes.
Kalafarsky.
Yes.
Killian.
Yes.
Zella.
Yes.
Lavingia.
Yes.
Lagasico.
Yes.
Levy.
Yes.
Livesey.
Yes.
Mafia.
Yes.
Munitin.
Yes.
Shapiro. Shapiro, you're on mute. I'm assuming that's a yes. There was he had a thumbs up indicating yes. Sherburne.
Yes.
Sigmund.
Yes.
Lutzkin is a yes. Smith.
Yes.
Spandorf.
Yes.
Spence.
Yes.
Stern.
Yes.
Sung.
Yes.
Sue.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Higher. Okay. Passes.
Okay, thank you so much. For my chair's report tonight, I'd like to have the chair of our SLAP committee, our licensing committee, Nick Athenell, report on a brand new, very, very important task force. Nick?
Thanks, Vicky. Vicky, as you know, last year, New York State legalized the production, sale, and use of recreational cannabis, which created the ability of the state to license retail cannabis dispensaries and establishments for on-site consumption, cannabis bars, if you will. The regulation of these establishments will be predominantly handled by the state, and the state has created a state cannabis control board for that purpose. Local governments can pass local laws and regulations governing the time, place, and manner of such establishments. It's regarding these time, place, and manner variables that we believe community boards may have a role, either at the state or local levels, or maybe both. But we don't really know much yet. So far, there has been one preliminary meeting among Manhattan community boards, and many questions remain unanswered. To prepare for cannabis coming to our district, CB5 will be creating a cannabis task force to weigh in on the role community boards may have in cannabis establishment regulation and to eventually create guidelines by which CB5 will review and opine on such establishments if we are given that ability. We expect that our task force will work closely with neighboring community boards, which are facing this same challenge. If any community board members or members of the public would like to be considered for membership on the CB5 Cannabis Task Force, please reach out to the board office to let us know.
Okay, thank you so much. I think, in fact, I'm sure that that meeting was recorded through the Borough President's office, just in case anyone is interested. That's the only meeting so far that we know about. Thank you, Nick. Okay, that moves us now into our committee report.
Vicky,
Yes.
before we do that, I apologize. Nancy Goshow did join the meeting as I was doing the roll call for the minutes, so I do want to give her an opportunity to be on the record for a vote, if that's
Sure.
okay with you. Goshow, for a vote for the minutes.
Yes, I approve.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Nancy. Okay, that means we're into our committee report for land use, housing and zoning. Leila Largesico.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This month we had 2 applications, so we're bringing 2 resolutions for your consideration. I would like to have them deemed read.
So deemed.
And I'm going to bundle.
Okay.
All right, so the first application was for a certification for transfer of development rights from a theater in the theater subdistrict onto a receiving site. The theater in question is the Ambassador Theater. It is located on West 49th Street at 219 between 7 and 8, or maybe between Broadway and 8. The receiving site is located at 726 8th Avenue, which is also within the boundaries of the theater subdistrict. You may recall that we actually had an opportunity to talk about the theater subdistrict a couple of months ago when the valuation for the contribution that such transaction generates into a public fund was actually reevaluated up to $24.60. So basically, this is the mechanism that is being used under this zoning tax for the special district. So what it does is actually transfer the unused air rights that are with the theater onto a receiving site that is a couple of blocks away. The receiving site is going to be a hotel, although the use was not entirely confirmed, that it will be either a hotel or a commercial building. And the regulation basically states that the amount of area that can be transferred cannot exceed 20% of the development site. This application does everything exactly as the tax was intending to do. It is transferring no more than the amount. It is going within the district. There's no use change. There is a restrictive declaration stating that the theater will be operated as a theater in perpetuity. There is a maintenance plan. The applicants are, which are actually jointly the theater and the receiving site developer. They're not asking for anything else, anything more than this transfer of the certification of this transfer of air rights. We believe that actually this text is a good text that has a very strong preservation component for the theaters. It is a density that is not excessive on the receiving side, and we voted unanimously to approve.
Okay. Are there any questions to this resolution? Are there any comments? First of all, did anyone have any conflicts? Boy, I'm really out of my usual self. Just give me a month off. Anybody have a conflict? Okay, any questions? Any comments? Okay, seeing none. Next, Rezo.
Okay, next resolution. The location is 44 Union Square East. This is also known as Tammany Hall at the corner of East 17th Street. This is an amendment to a BSA special permit. This is super technical, very narrow, totally administrative. Could have been handled by BSA without referring this to us. We're happy that it is, but it is just so narrow and technical that it really didn't rise to any level of concern. Basically, currently, the BSA special permit mandates that a garbage collection is done off of 17th Street, the side street, in the residential portion of the district where the building sits. The applicant wants to actually be able to pick up their garbage on Union Square East, which sits in the commercial side of the district where the building sits. We had no issue, no objection. We feel that it is actually an improvement. We wondered why it was not done from the get-go, and we voted unanimously to approve.
Okay, thanks, Leila. Any conflict with this application? Any questions to the resolution? Any comments? All right, seeing none, we can take these two resolutions to a vote.
Akalis,
Yes.
Athanael,
Yes.
Weichman,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Rosnahan,
Yes.
Cedillo,
Yes.
Dosen,
Yes.
Ellington,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Gashow,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hirschberg,
Yes.
Higher,
Yes.
Isaacs,
Yes.
Kabak,
Yes.
Kalafarsky,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Kinsella,
Yes.
Lavingia,
Yes.
Lagasico,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Livesey,
Yes.
Mafia,
Yes.
Munitin,
Yes.
Shapiro,
Yes.
Sherburne,
Yes.
Sigmund,
Yes.
Lutzkin is a yes. Smith,
Yes.
Spandorf,
Yes.
Spence,
Yes.
Stern,
Yes.
Sung,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay,
And then Vicky, if it's okay with you, I would like to just address an issue that I know was brought up at the July meeting, if that's okay with you.
sure.
Okay, thank you. So at the July meeting, as you probably recall, an application for that was coming from the Land Use Committee for a building at East 16th Street generated a robust discussion. And I just, I was contacted by a number of members who actually asked some questions as a follow-up to the meeting. And it seems that during the discussion of the full board, there was probably some context that was missing. So over the summer, I had the opportunity to reach out to Mayor Lavingia, and we had a very good conversation. We talked about, I brought some of the context to his attention, and I also wanted to share that with you. I think that, those types of situations are actually a great opportunity when a resolution is not totally clear and doesn't give all the background to actually, bring this background context and information to everybody's attention. Samir, I don't know if you want to talk about the discussion that we had and the understanding of this application.
Yeah, I'd love to, if I can speak for a
Thank
second.
you.
Yeah, basically it was just one of those things where I was just missing a lot of context because the resolution on its own was actually originally written in 2018 and was more or less just forwarded on to 2022. And I didn't have a chance to catch up with, the relevant members at the time. I think Layla might have been out. And so all I had to go off of was the resolution as written. And I think more broadly, just something I want to mention is that it's been hard for myself, and I think for a lot of new members who have joined during COVID. It's hard to build these relationships when we're all virtual. And so I'd encourage new members to really reach out whenever they have questions and concerns like Layla did to me. It was really great to catch up and understand the situation more fully. I've personally been meeting with folks in the community board and chairs of different committees. And honestly, there's so much to learn and so much context that just doesn't come across from one resolution to another. And so I'm going to make sure to continue to do that. So if you haven't heard from me, you might hear from me soon. It's just these types of hallway conversations and the interpersonal dynamics and the camaraderie we used to people might have had before when we had in-person meetings just are a little bit harder now, and it's important that we can meet together in the context of a meeting or honestly just a coffee and just catch up to build these working relationships so we can communicate openly and empathize with one another. And as much as possible, the board should speak as one voice. So I think having these types of relationships will make things a lot easier to communicate both during meetings and outside of meetings. And if we end up going back to in-person meetings, maybe my little speech will not matter as much. But if these keep getting extended, I really encourage, especially new members who joined during COVID and only know the virtual setting. If you ever have any questions, make sure you reach out to other community board members or chairs of the different committees and talk to them. They have a lot to say.
Thank you so much, Samir. And it was so nice to be able to talk and meet. I encourage really everyone to do the same. If you have questions about land use or landmarks, reach out to me, reach out to other committee chairs. Very briefly on the core of the issue in July, it actually stemmed from our policy and position on a prior application that had to do with a building on 18th Street known as the Adorama building. I am actually going to drop a New York Times article that was written at the time. But basically what we did was using this special permit as leverage to actually hopefully generate more affordable housing. This was lost in the 2018 resolution, and this context was actually not present. And, this is also where you realize the flaws of, sometimes the resolutions that we write. So, all of that in the end was really a good opportunity to, make sure that, when we write resolutions, we really bring all the context. And also, as we're still going through this COVID crisis, to bring this opportunity to connect directly outside of the meeting setting and speak and meet, which I really, really welcome. So thank you, Vicky, for the opportunity to, bring this to the attention of the full board.
Absolutely. Very, very important and a wonderful example. Samir, you're absolutely right. I'm so glad you brought this to everyone's attention. We have so many new people. You're one of them that has been very involved and very interested. We welcome all our new members to get more involved and please ask questions, impose upon us if you feel that it would be helpful. So I thank you all and look forward to maybe going back to probably won't be full in-person meetings. But I think you're absolutely right. That's going to make a difference. That's what's been missing for the last umpteen, 2.5 years. So thank you again. We look forward to working with you in particular, Samir, and some of our other new people that have really shown great interest in our subjects. Thank you. Okay, that takes us then to landmarks, which is Leila.
Well, actually,
Anyway.
Maki is my wonderful vice chair is going to give the presentation as she chaired the meeting this month. Maki,
Thank you, Leila. Thank you, Vicky.
thanks.
Again, my name is Maki Thomas Livesey, and I'll be presenting on behalf of Leila Logisico, the chair of the Landmarks Committee. And we had a meeting with only one application this month, and I would like to request that that resolution be deemed read, please.
Deem.
Thank you so much. The single application was for the Lexington Avenue Armory, also known as the 69th Infantry Regiment Armory, which is located on in between East 25th and East 26th Streets on Lexington Avenue. And it was one of the first armories that was built in the Beaux-Arts style, completed in 1906 by the architects Hunt and Hunt. The application was quite detailed for renovations, but generally they were to meet the functional requirements of a National Guard Readiness Center. It is still functioning as an armory. So what I would like to do, just for the to make sure everybody's aware of all of the items that were discussed by the committee, is to go ahead and I think there's somebody who might have their mic on.
I think it's off now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and list through all of the renovation items that were discussed in order. The first one was to restore the ceremonial main entrance doors and stairs on Lexington Avenue. The applicant also requested to add 2 Americans with Disabilities Act or ADA entryways. Also install 4 additional commemorative battle plaques to be mounted in a reversible manner. Replace 2 historic lampposts, unblock an original annex entryway on East 25th Street. Also on that street, install an overhead roll-up door for street level vehicular access. Restore some historic windows to match existing fenestrations, and also upgrade the mechanical systems on the building's rooftop. And while at the same time moving back the guardrails for code compliance, both of which will not be visible from street level. The renovations are anticipated to begin in early 2024, depending on approved funding, with an estimated completion in 2027. Following the detailed and excellent presentation from Marble, along with representatives from the New York State Office of General Services and the Division of Military and Naval Affairs, the committee had a discussion and felt that the applicant engaged in thoughtful research and analysis, and that the proposed work was harmonious with the building's historic elements, also furthering accessibility and maintaining the respect for the landmark. However, the committee members were concerned about the proposed ADA doors, which were depicted as glass paned with green framing and metal doors handles, the metal hardware, that were noticeably contemporary in style. We were told that the final design of those doors are still evolving. However, we did vote on a conditional approval asking for goodwill consideration related to the aesthetics of those doors associated with the ADA doors, as well as the annex door on 25th, asking that they relook at those to preserve the integrity and historic character of the building overall, with particular reference to those 2 ADA glass panel doors. Again, we voted unanimously for conditional approval, and that completes the presentation unless someone has any questions.
Okay, great. Thank you, Maki. Does anyone have a conflict with this application? Does anyone have a question to the resolution? Are there any comments? Okay, seeing none, we can vote on this resolution.
I will go on the reverse order this time. Young,
Yes.
Chu,
Yes.
Sung,
Yes.
Stern,
Yes.
Spence,
Yes.
Spandorf. Spandorf,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lutzkin is a yes. Sigmund,
Yes.
Sherburne,
Yes.
Shapiro,
Yes.
Muniton,
Yes.
Mafia,
Yes.
Livesey,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Logisico,
Yes.
Lavingia,
Yes.
Kinsella,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Alafarsky,
Yes.
Payback,
Yes.
Isaacs,
Yes.
Higher,
Yes.
Hirschberg,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Gashow,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Brewer,
Yes.
Ellington,
Yes.
Josen,
Yes.
Chu,
Yes.
Cedillo,
Yes.
Rosnahan,
Yes.
Borden,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Athanale,
Yes.
Kalis.
Yes.
Okay, it passes and we move on to state licenses and permits. Nick,
Thank you, Vicky. SLAP had one resolution this cycle. May I have it deemed read?
so deemed.
Thank you. This was an application for change in the method of operation for the Crompton Ale House located at 151 to 159 West 26th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues. This operator came to us in 2014, and in connection with their original liquor license, we negotiated some stipulations with them, which included hours of operation no later than 2 a.m. daily, no live music, no DJs, promoters, and so on. The applicant recently requested to extend its hours of operation till 3 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday and 4 a.m. Thursday through Saturday. They also wanted to offer live music. Given the opposition from the community, they modified that request live during our meeting to forego live music and extend the hours only until 3 a.m. 7 days a week. The block, for people who don't know, is a very mixed-use block, very densely residential, in addition to having at least 8 bars and nightlife venues. In situations like this, we really try to balance the interests of residents and businesses, and we found that closing hours of 2 a.m. Consistently create whatever balance we can try to create when we have businesses and residents in such close proximity. The community was very strongly opposed to any extension beyond 2 a.m. For many reasons, among them that because there are so many operations on that block, if we extended the hours to one of them, then everyone would want them. In fact, at the moment, no licensed operators on this block have closing hours beyond 2 a.m. The committee agreed that 2 a.m. was a reasonable closing hour, and we denied the application unanimously, 13-000.
Okay. Does anyone have a conflict with this application? Are there any questions to the resolution?
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Thank you. Do we know, Nick, if the other establishments on that block have affidavits that limit their hours, their closing hours?
Most of them do. And in fact, that block, if you recall, Daniel, is where we split the block between CB4 and CB5. And there was a representative, my counterpart on CB4 was present and spoke about her side of the block, notably, oh, somebody help me, what's the name of that? Wait, I have it written here.
Black.
Ainsworth. Ainsworth, which previously, which is closed now, but is actually coming back to be licensed again. They also agreed to a 2 a.m. closing.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
That block goes back a long way, right, Nick?
Absolutely.
That's been a real problem for many years.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Are there any comments? Samir?
I just noticed on the draft resolution where the final vote count is, I think the address is incorrect. It was probably just copy pasted incorrectly, so we should probably update that.
Good catch.
Okay, thank you. Todd?
Yes, I just want to commend the committee and point out for the new members of the board how incredibly important it is that our community board and our SLAP committee, previously it was the PSQL committee, has held firm on being consistent and giving the community stakeholders a chance to raise their issues and try to collaborate, and how we have consistently kept to the same times, the 2 a.m. time in these mixed residential and business areas. I've been around long enough in the committee. It's a constant balancing of interests, and the fact that we as a community board can be consistent over a long period of time makes it that much easier for each additional hearing or community meeting we do to, do what's right by the neighborhood. And I must say that I'm encouraged over the years I've served on the board that the businesses, once they hear this and they see our record and precedents, often do the right thing.
Good points, Todd. Very good. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, we will vote on this, our last vote of the evening, and then we'll go into our public session.
Michaelis,
Yes.
Afanel,
Yes.
Weichman,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Borden,
Yes.
Rosnahan,
Yes.
Sadia,
Yes.
Chu,
Yes.
Dosen,
Yes.
Ellington,
Yes.
Four,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Gasha,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Hirschberg,
Yes.
Heyer,
Yes.
Isaacs,
Yes.
Kabak,
Yes.
Kaliforski,
Yes.
Killian,
Yes.
Stella,
Yes.
Vingia,
Yes.
Lagasico,
Yes.
Levy,
Yes.
Livesey,
Yes.
Mafia,
Yes.
Muniton,
Yes.
Shapiro,
Yes.
Sherburne,
Yes.
Tigman,
Yes.
Slutskin is a yes, Smith,
Yes.
Spandorf,
Yes.
Bentz,
Yes.
Stern,
Yes.
Sung,
Yes.
Chu,
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, thank you very much. That ends our voting for the evening, and I will open up the public session. Anyone who is an attendee, kindly raise your hand, and I see Lisa Wager.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So hi, welcome back. My name is Lisa Wager. I'm the Director of Government Community Relations at the Fashion Institute of Technology, the SUNY College on 27th, between 7th and 8th, the edge of the district, but part of the heart of Manhattan. Campus is buzzing. Classes started last week and we're in full swing with vaccination and indoor masking requirements remaining in place. This year, a lot of our public programming returns to being in person, and you can find information on that and other exciting events on our online calendar, our Instagram account, or even Facebook. A new show at the museum at FIT opened last week also, Shoes, Anatomy, Identity, and Magic. It's going to be up through the end of December. It explores our physical, social, and psychological relationship with the shoe. And it begins with a pair of baby shoes, indicating how shoes accompany us on the journey of life. It's actually a very interesting show, and in addition to the sumptuous visuals, there's lots to think about. The theme of anatomy emphasizes how we stand and move differently when we wear sneakers instead of stilettos, and the theme and other things. The theme of identity emphasizes how we tend to associate different shoe styles and brands with different types of people. The theme of magic emphasizes how we may unconsciously believe that the right pair of shoes will change our lives. The exhibition features more than 300 of the 5,000 pairs of shoes, boots, sandals, and sneakers in the museum's permanent collection, aka the closet. And it's accompanied by a book, Shoes, the collection of the museum at FIT, which was published by Tasha. And remember, the museum is free and open to the public with expanded hours till 8 p.m. on Wednesday through Friday and till 5 on Saturday and Sunday. Also, one other note to report, FIT's advertising and digital design program was ranked #3 in the world by the One Club for Creativity, the industry's preeminent advertising and interactive student design student competition. And just for the record, I did sign in at 3 minutes to 6, but I was with the circle, the turning circle of death in some waiting room. So no disrespect, and I'm glad I got to hear the whole meeting, and I look forward to seeing everybody in little boxes in October. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up will be Charles.
Hello. Hi there. It's Charles here. I'm still concerned as a person with a disability who's blind and who walks around the community. I'm still concerned about cyclists. I've been out with my aide before, and we witnessed cyclists who go through the red light, some who have slammed on their brakes and almost hit other pedestrians as we're trying to cross a street with those pedestrians. I'm still really concerned about cyclists cycling on the sidewalk and also going the wrong way, and just just going very fast as people are crossing in the crosswalk and not really yielding to pedestrians is a real issue. And lastly, I think it's really important that we carry on with these virtual meetings, because for someone like me who has sight impairment, who has sight loss, it's ease of access to be able to speak to you guys through Zoom, and maybe you guys can do like a hybrid meeting like the MTA board does for their meetings, where it's in person and also virtual. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. Next up will be Noel Slater.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back from your break. I live in the neighborhood right around Flatiron, and just wanted to bring something of concern to notice. So, New York's coming back, and we're starting to get tourists in the area between the Harry Potter store and the Flatiron building. There's a ton of them. But recently, I've seen a large uptick in the amount of people soliciting for charities, real or otherwise. So I called 311 to find out if there was a registry to see if you can indeed see if someone has a license to do this. They told me you can register, but there's no public registry for you to check. So sometimes these people are like a little bit curt. I've seen them say like, oh, I don't, what, you don't care about people with cancer, what, you don't care about people, or dogs, or like they're very rude to tourists, and they're kind of driving them out of the area. And I just wanted to know if there's kind of anything we can do regarding like their behavior or checking to see if they even have a license. And I did want to give like an upvote to Charles's point before. 2 weekends ago, I saw a cyclist like full on hit a tourist who was like crossing a sidewalk like entirely legally. So that was just absolutely terrifying. So if there's anything we can do around regulating the electric bikes, I'm all for it.
Okay,
That's
thank you. Thank you, Noel. I would suggest you notify our board office with, your concern, your first concern. I think you probably, on the second issue, you probably have been tuning into our transportation meetings on that subject. If not, please do, and we'll take all of that under consideration. It's a very, very important and very large concern for all of us. Thank you. Mike, I see Mike Kabak. You have your hand raised?
I do. Welcome to the new members and to everybody else from a great summer. I just wanted to remind you that there are free tours offered of the Flatiron District and of the Garment District for free. You can get the dates and the times on the websites of the individual BIDs, business improvement districts. If you're interested, you can learn a lot of good stuff about the history of those two areas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. I think that concludes it. Is there anyone else who has anything to either ask or contribute in the public session? If not, any old business? Any new business? No?
I had left a voicemail maybe a week ago for Mike Fissinger, and if I did want to follow this up again, do you know how I would do it?
The
solicitation issue.
Yeah, you mean to notify our office or working with the board office? Is that what you're concerned about?
Yeah, if I want to get like more involved in particular,
think
like
it's
take ownership of
office
following that up.
Yeah, Marisa, what is the email?
If you could send an email to office@cb5.org, that would be helpful.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. All right, I think that concludes any old, any new business at the public session, and that means that the meeting is now adjourned. I will see you all in October and at the various committee meetings.
Good night, everyone.
Night all.
Great evening.
Good
Good night.
Night.